Here's the riveting content we've got lined up for you today. Picture this. Russia, a sleeping giant, awakening with a ferocious attack on eastern Ukraine, their icy grip tightening around the pulse of the city, AFDFK in Donetsk. The ominous echoes of heavy artillery punctuate the silence, thundering around the cities of Kupiansk and Lyman. Russia, a chess player on the world stage, fortifying their positions and launching strategic assaults on the Eastern Front, forcing Ukraine into a desperate race to defend their sovereign lands. Now imagine being in Kupiansk, a city precariously balanced on the edge of the Oskin River, a mere 40 kilometers from the looming shadow of the Russian border. The air is thick with tension, the ground shakes with the rhythm of war. Ukraine's Eastern Front commanders report a chilling development. Moscow has amplified its forces, creating a formidable new army corps. General Alexander SSK, the heart of Ukraine's ground forces, paints a grim picture. The situation is rapidly spiraling, with Russia's predatory gaze fixed on enveloping Kupiansk to seize the life-giving Oskin River. The city and its surroundings, once vibrant and full of life, now bear the relentless scars of continuous bombardment since Ukraine's daring recapture in a lightning-fast counterattack in September 2022. The power dynamics have held steady since then, with an eerie lack of territorial changes. However, August 2023 marked a turning point, a mass evacuation ordered by Ukraine. We heard straight from the front lines, a 28-year-old Ukrainian soldier fighting amidst the rubble of Shink FK, a village on the fringes of Kupiansk. His description of the recent clashes is bone-chilling, an insane barrage of attacks, Russia unloading a devastating arsenal and rolling out their armored beasts, the tanks. The soldier reveals a worrying perspective. Russia, having learned from past blunders, is exploiting the local terrain and refining their tactics. They are relentless, attacking from all sides, their menacing helicopters a grim reminder of their presence. The Ukrainian forces may be trying to hold their ground, but they're facing a ruthless opponent. Prepare yourself to journey into the heart of this conflict right here on our program today. In a show of remarkable resilience, Ukraine's forces continue to hold substantial defensive positions along this strategic axis. Russia's ground troops, on the other hand, are grappling with the task of a key breakthrough. Analysts suggest that Russia's objective is to push further towards the Oskin River while securing a buffer zone around the Lugansk region, currently under Moscow's strong arm. As October 2023 dawned, Russia sparked a fresh offensive on AFDFK, a tiny spot just about 5 kilometers north of Donetsk. Moscow's aim? To beef up its Donetsk defenses against any future Ukrainian offensives. But AFDFK isn't an easy nut to crack. This is one of the most fortified locations on the front lines in recent memory. History tells us that Russian troops have tried time and again corner this city, with notable struggles back in 2017. Vitaly Barabas, the man in charge of the military administration in the city of AFDFK, referred to Russia's latest assault as unparalleled. He threw light on Moscow's deployment of an unprecedented number of troops and equipment, the largest since 2014 to 2015, and even 2017, when the push towards AFDFK was in full swing. But this time around they brought an estimated 100 units and a whopping 2,000 soldiers. And that was just the beginning. Russia has since stepped up its bombing of the city, employing artillery and a persistent influx of vehicles on the city outskirts. After a brief 2-day pause to regroup, the onslaught resumed on October 19th. This year has seen no greater attack on any front line. If Russia seizes control of AFDFK, a strategically crucial location, a hefty chunk of the 48 kilometers front line from Tesk to Marine could crumble. Barabas disclosed that, as per Ukrainian military intelligence, Russia's endgame is to dominate the entire Donetsk region by year-end, a goal he sees as overly ambitious and possibly unfeasible. The battle for AFDFK presents a significant challenge for both sides. The recent skirmishes in AFDFK haven't just escalated, they've exploded into full-blown conflict in the past week. Russian forces have scored a few points, but not without facing some serious risks. On-the-ground observers testify to the potency of the enemy's anti-tank weaponry in the Donetsk region, creating significant obstacles for the movement of Russian armored vehicles and infantry. Ukraine, under the leadership of the Joint Forces, JF, is persistently launching small-scale infantry raids in a bid to nudge Russia, forcing them to redirect their forces and expose vulnerabilities in other parts of the front line, thereby providing Ukrainian troops with potential breakthrough opportunities. In a testament to international cooperation, the United States fulfilled its promise of delivering the first batch of Abrams tanks to Ukraine by the end of September. The M1A1 Abrams, a classic Western tank, features precise long-range cannons and advanced observation equipment. However, its thick frontal armor is contrasted by weaker side and rear defenses. Even a 30mm cannon round from an infantry fighting vehicle like the BMP-2 can threaten its integrity. Vulnerability might discourage the Ukrainian armed forces from considering the Abrams for direct frontal assaults. Instead, it's more likely to be strategically dispersed across the front lines and employed like sharpshooters. But even this tactical approach won't safeguard the Abrams from modern threats such as unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, an increasingly effective counter to armored vehicles. Case in point, the Russian Skat UAV unit actively operating in the southern Donbas front. The Abrams tanks also have notable vulnerabilities, particularly in the rear section. This, combined with the tank's well-known tactical and technical traits, makes it tricky to catch the enemy off guard. Ukraine, though, is prepared to counter these challenges. However, the threats to the Abrams don't stop at UAVs. Russian mines, tank killers, and infantry fighting vehicle-launched anti-tank guided missiles pose a significant danger, especially to older models of the Abrams designed to withstand late 1980s weaponry. In this modern age of warfare, the scales tip in favor of Russian tanks, such as the T-72B3, T-80BVM, and T-90M, which are better equipped to handle these contemporary threats. The French government has recently disclosed their decision to supply military equipment to Armenia, including air defense systems. This revelation comes amidst growing apprehension due to the escalating frictions between Armenia and its neighboring country, Azerbaijan, a situation which could potentially provoke further unrest in the region. While France and Armenia are not part of the same military and political consortium, they continue to uphold defense-related ties to ensure Armenia's capacity to protect its territory and its citizens. Previously, France dispatched a military consultant to its embassy in Armenia with an agenda to send additional military experts to provide assistance to Armenia in fields such as training. Armenia's Prime Minister, Nikol Pashinyan, has publicly expressed his gratitude for France's backing. Conversely, Azerbaijan has reproached France for exacerbating tensions in the region. Intriguingly, France has recently commenced joint military drills with its ally Turkey in the Nakhchivan region near the Iranian border. France's armament agreement with Armenia is announced just a month post Azerbaijan's declaration of triumph following a brief military pursuit in the Nagorno-Karabakh region, causing an extensive migration of over 100,000 ethnic Armenians from the area. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has cautioned that the situation is far from the cessation of the long-standing animosities between Armenia and Azerbaijan, potentially leading to a more extensive conflict in the South Caucasus. This region, a hub of ethnic diversity, harbors critical oil and gas pipelines that Russia, the United States, Turkey, and Iran all vie for influence over. France, harboring a significant Armenian diaspora, has shown increased political support towards Armenia, even as Armenia's relations with Russia, the regional military alliance leader, have become tense. However, Armenia reduced its alliance with Russia earlier this month, which ignited Russian President Vladimir Putin's willingness to host negotiations in Moscow if necessary to foster a peaceful accord. A peaceful resolution is deemed achievable, especially considering the fact that most border-related disputes are technical and can probably be resolved with goodwill from both parties. Furthermore, the foreign ministers of Iran, Armenia, and Azerbaijan have commenced negotiations in Tehran, highlighting the historical opportunity for all regional countries to